8th, Hulu will debut the first season of its new adult animated series, Solar Opposites, from the creator of Rick and Morty. The streaming service will also bring along a very different kind of comedy series in The Great. Premiering May 15th, this 10-episode series is a satirical drama about the rise of Catherine the Great on Hulu.
And that's new to view on iHeartRadio. Happy binging!
Fox Sports 980, now on 95.9 FM. To find FS1 on your television, go to foxsports.com for details. FS1. Broadcasting live from the studios of Fox Sports Radio, here's Doug Gottlieb.
Doug Gottlieb Show, Fox Sports Radio. You know, there's so many things that were different then that are different now, right? Like, you're watching that, and then you're going to be down by her in moments. Ryan Music, you weren't... When were you born? What year were you born? The great year of 1992, as you're born around about then. What were you most taken by in watching the basketball footage of those games?
One of the main things I noticed right away was when they were showing college footage that there was no three-point line, which was interesting.
Here's what people don't know. I don't know, Byron, if you knew this one. I do because I'm a dork, and I know these things about basketball. Did you know, during his sophomore and junior year, only in ACC play, was there a three-point line, and it was a three-point line that was 17 feet 9 inches. And so people are like, well, how far is that? Okay, the free throw is 15 feet. The traditional, like the high school line, the original college three-point line was 19 feet 9 inches. So it was inside the top of the key. It was only in ACC games. Did you know that? That there was...
I wouldn't have been able to recall it. You saying it makes it sound somewhat familiar, but I wouldn't have been able to recall it.
Right. So, and it was one of the only leagues in the country that had that. My dad was an assistant coach in the PCAA. Okay, that was UNLV, and it actually had Brian Shaw was at UC Santa Barbara, and at one point in time, and who else was in the league? Craig Hodges was at Long Beach State. My dad was an assistant there under Tex Winter. They had a three-point line that I think was 99. But that was the infancy of it. And then it went away. And then didn't come back until Steve Alford's senior year, which was 87, I believe, 86, 87, it came back. It was a nationwide thing. But they had a three-point line. So you're watching like, dude, there's no three-point line. Everybody's kind of clumped in there. Oh my God, Steph Curry would go, he'd be shooting from like mid-court. It's crazy. Then you look at when they lost to the Celtics and you're like, there are a lot of white guys out there. That's a lot of white guys. That's a lot. Right? That it had to cross. And it did not look that, Robert Parrish, and then, even when Jordan was drafted, it was like, well, outdoors now, we wish we see that 7-1. In the NBA, they actually used to have an expression. If you're going to make a mistake, make it a big mistake. By big mistake, they meant big guy. They didn't plenty of big mistakes. But you can't compare eras. It wasn't just the three-point line, which did exist in the NBA. It took them like 20 years of having it, 20, 30 years of having it. Somebody's like, you can shoot those and do the math. And if you make, over 33%, it's better than making half of your twos. You're like, what? Yeah, that actually kind of works. No way. Yes. Oh, go ahead, try that. Wow. I thought to Chris Paul's like, we can shoot threes. We're told it was a bad shot. Look at the volume of threes right there, Jeff. It wasn't he couldn't shoot them. He won the three-point shooting contest. Actually did it in his warm-up jacket. So I look at this thing, and you just cannot compare it. What you can compare is the dominance of one player in one era to the dominance the 85 draft that the Bulls were supposedly tanking for. That was the Pat Ewing draft. The Knicks immediately became relevant again. Before that, they even had Bernard King as well. But you had the Knicks, you had the Pistons, you forget the 76ers. Before Charles Barkley went to the Suns, he was in the Sixers with Dr. J, Moses Malone, that team that won a championship title in the early 80s. The West now, or the West the past couple years, was the East then. Let's get to Dan Ball, find out what else going on. Give me what you got.
So we'll transition to some gridiron news. Today, the NFL held their trial run for Thursday's virtual draft. Aside from a glitch at the beginning, everything seemed to run real smooth. At least that was the phrase used by John Elway, the Broncos president, speaking to reporters after today's mock draft. The report surfaced last week that the Falcons were looking to move up to number 16 in the NFL draft. Now NBC's Peter King says Atlanta wants to grab a top corner in the selection process. Dallas Morning News says the Cowboys and Dak Prescott have held positive talks on a contract extension for the quarterback. Still no deal. Jaguars released wide receiver Marquise Lee today. Patriots unveiled their new uniforms with their old color rush Navy unis now serving as their full-time home uniforms. That make the Louisville Sluggish close their factory and furloughed most of the company's workforce because of the coronavirus pandemic. Doug, back to you.
Doug Gottlieb Show, Fox Sports Radio. Wow, April 27. Dining at restaurants is going to be permitted in Georgia. Okay. So Georgia becomes what we stick into like nines? Is it a parakeet? You see the parakeet, right? Canary. Georgia becomes the canary. We'll see. Shall see. Doug Gottlieb Show rolls on here on Fox Sports Radio. Let's welcome in Butch Davis. He's the head coach of Florida International University. He's also a two-time Super Bowl champion, legendary coach of the college and the pro game. He joins us on draft week here on the Doug Gottlieb Show on Fox Sports Radio. Butch, how are you?
Doug, I'm awesome. How are you doing?
Good. Where are you right now?
I am actually in Naples, Florida. Obviously everybody scattered. Players went everywhere, coaches went everywhere, and I had a home from 1999 over in Naples when I was the head coach at the University of Miami. So I'm in Southwest Florida.
All right. And a lot of walks, right? A lot of walks.
Oh, Lord, listen. My wife is killing me. I can't wait to go back to work. It's bicycles for about 40 to 60 minutes every afternoon, a little bit of stretching, a little bit of exercise. We're walking the dog. It is, trying to find exercise. And then obviously, super busy, still trying to run a football program, over social media from Zoom. I learned more technical social media stuff in the last 4 weeks than I've learned in the last 20 years.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how all that stuff in Bixby. Bixby growing up. Apparently, they say that they didn't have an email address beforehand. That's stuff that maybe people didn't know.
I saw that on Nick where he said he didn't even know how to do email. That sounds like that guy. I've coached with him in the East West All-Star Band. We've been friends for a long time. And I think he's a little bit, I think he's telling a little bit of a story there. I think he probably knows a little bit more about emails than anybody thinks.
Yeah, I once got a fish this big. Where are you guys? What has this done to change your process at FIU?
Well, Doug, obviously right now, we did not get an opportunity to have spring practice. And every week we have, administrative talks. We have our coaches. We have a staff meeting every week. I have a leadership meeting with players and stuff. But one of the things we're talking about is trying to find out from Mark Hanks, who's our football commissioner for the Conference USA, is what's going to happen when and if we do get an opportunity to go back early. Are we going to get a chance to make up those spring practices, the 15 opportunities that we would have had? Are we going to get a chance to maybe have like OTA days? Or are we going to, one of the things that people are saying is go back to the old days and have tour days during the month of August, which I'm not sure that that's the best plan because it duplicates obviously the opportunities for kids to get injuries prior to the start of to the season. So, there's just the supervision of watching our kids, how to make sure that, they're working out, they're training, they're getting a chance to get enough nutrition and stuff. We've got nutritionists, we've got food coaches that talk to the players every single day. Our coaches are reaching out to them, finding out what are they doing, how can we help them. one of the things, Doug, that I really wanted to try to do with our players, and this has worked out unbelievably better than I ever actually thought. I wanted to reach out to some of our fellow players with the Dallas Cowboys, the Cleveland Browns, North Carolina, Miami, and get them to do a 3 to 5 minute motivational, positive, passionate, upbeat video and send it out to our players. And to be honest with you, Doug, I was hoping that I would get like 3 to 5. I ended up getting 15 so far. Russell, Maryland has talked to guys. Kevin Elko, who's a sports psychologist, has done things for us. Darren Smith, that played for me at Miami and with the Dallas Cowboys. Rachel Barbeau, who is a great motivational speaker that goes around and speaks to college football teams throughout the entire country. She's done a deal for us. Daryl Jones, Alonzo Highsmith did a great thing. And all of these people are people that, you can't waste these opportunities to prepare. It's not easy. There's adversity, there's tough times going on, but you got to find a way to make sure that you're as prepared as possible when those opportunities to come back to try to play. So, it's just, coaches have got to be creative. You got to try to find ways to put your team in the best position and stay in contact with them. Our coaches, Doug, I'm sure you talked to a lot of people, but our coaches are doing on them. I'd rather be practicing and watch kids grow and get better at their positions, but this is the best that we can do right now.
I want to ask you about your last year. Bush Davis, the head coach at Florida National, FIU, joining us, Doug Gottlieb Show, Fox Sports Radio. Of course, longtime head coach in college, that incredible 2000 team with you, University of Miami, and of course, in the National Football League as well. I want to ask you, like Ken Dorsey, for example, right? He was, your teams did not hit. Now, granted, you had like the most ridiculous overall cast of talented players on that roster, but it didn't hit at Miami until you found the right guy, Ken Dorsey, who was bright, deadly accurate, and felt like a real leader for those Miami squads. But he didn't be. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, Doug, obviously, he is a terrific young man. He's coaching the quarterbacks right now for the Buffalo Bills. He was the offensive coordinator and the quarterback coach for the Carolina Panthers. He had Cam Newton, took them to the Super Bowls. And when he got let go at Carolina 2 years ago, he came back and he volunteered and he's worked an entire year for us at Florida International. And, behind the scenes, he helped James Morgan, who is he had a great 2-year career. I think that during the draft this week, I think there's a lot of the teams are super excited about him. And Kenny had a great impact on him. And when Kenny played at the University of Miami, as you said, he had an unbelievable supporting cast. Santana Moss and Reggie Wayne and Jeremy Shock, and an unbelievable amount of talented players, Andre Johnson and stuff. But the thing that really made Kenny work was he knew how to motivate kids, he knew how to get the ball in the hands of the guys that were the playmakers. He was a terrific leader, and I think that those kind of guys are invaluable. He had a 5, 6, 7 year career in the NFL as a backup quarterback, and I think he grew and he learned an awful lot as to how to become a potential offensive coordinator. And one of these days, he's going to be a head coach, either at the collegiate level or at the NFL level, and he's going to do a terrific job.
I ask you because, look, Joe Burrow had that sort of supporting cast. It took him a while. He had to transfer into Ohio State. It's hard to beat out an incumbent like J.T. Barrett, and then he was hurt 1 year. His first year at LSU was okay. They switch offenses and bring in Joe Brady from the Saints, and the thing just takes off. And if there's a question about Joe Burrow, it's in his arm strength. That was the question about Ken, wasn't it? That was one of the things that he liked. Is that a fair reason why he wasn't the pro quarterback he was the college quarterback.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, if there was one thing that Kenny was smart, and, he knew how to get the ball to the guys, but he did not have, the arm strength, the ability to throw. I think that Joe Burrow, to be honest with you, I think he has more arm strength than Kenny does. And I think the other aspect that Joe has that Kenny didn't have was he's probably a little bit more of an athletic quarterback, but he can extend plays. That has become an enormous thing in collegiate football and obviously in the NFL as well, is the ability to avoid the rush, to get outside the pocket, to extend the plays and to allow things to create. And when you watch what he did at LSU, Ed Orgeron did a phenomenal job of surrounding him with great players, but Joe did a great job of being able to take what he had and really make it, work very well. And I think he's going to be a great quarterback in the National Football League.
I was watching The Last Dance last night, and one of the things I think people were taken by was that Dean Smith was the one that ultimately told Michael Jordan he should go to the pros. This is back in the days of guys staying for 3 years. You've been in that position at Carolina, you've been in that position at Miami. I think the outsider looking in always thinks that the head coach in college football is the bad guy, that they only want to keep kids on campus, they're going to tell them every bit of bad news so that they don't leave early. What really goes into the process of trying to advise one of your own players as to what he should do for his future?
Well, you know what, Doug, I was in a similar situation with Adrian Jones. He just rushed for 209 yards to beat the number 2 team, UCLA, was probably the springboard that really elevated the University of Miami program, because after that win, we were invited to play in the New York kickoff classic, and the next year we opened the season against Ohio State and we won the game. But Adrian came, people were saying, should he stay and play at Miami and try to, promote him to be a Heisman Trophy winner and All-American and all those kinds of things. And, and I did a lot, like all head coaches do. I called a lot of people. I've been in the NFL with the Cowboys, and I called a lot of general managers and people that I do. And I said, give me exactly what everybody thinks Adrian's going to be. And almost 90% of the people said he's either going to be the number 2 or the number 3 pick. And so, I called Adrian and I told him, I said, I really truly believe, as a running back, you're a phenomenal player, and I know you love your teammates and stuff. You really need to take this opportunity and you need to go. And literally, we had a press conference, and this is a true story. Adrian came into my office and he said, Coach, I really think I need to go. He said, I'm kind of like the States, that all my friends are here. And he literally had some tears in his eyes. And I said, Adrian, you know what? This is a decision that will change your entire life. Not from a financial standpoint. Obviously, he got drafted by the Indianapolis Colts. He went on to have a phenomenal career, made an unbelievable amount of money, and he's just a good guy. He's done a great job for the small little town of Vermont, Florida, giving back and help build like a youth center for the kids that live there. And so, if you're doing the right thing as a coach to the players, and you really truly love them, you got to do what's in the best interest of them.
Last thing, Coach Davis, head coach at FIU, joined us. What's your level of confidence the college football season will start on time?
You know what? If you asked me that probably 3 weeks ago, Doug, I would have said maybe not, because there was an awful lot of discussion about get rid of all the non-conference games, maybe start at the middle or the end of September. But as things have started to change, the plateau, the coronavirus is going downhill. The governors throughout the country are starting to talk about opening up businesses, opening up beaches, trying to get the economy back up. I think President Trump has done a phenomenal job in trying to coordinate all of this stuff in different states with everybody, that's got different issues. New York's totally different issue than Montana and South Dakota. So obviously, I truly believe now, after talking to some of the conference commissioners and some of the people, I do think that college football is going to start, about a year around the 1st of September, the original date that it was originally supposed to be. And now the big question is how are we going to be given the opportunity to get the players prepared, for the start weeks during the month of July to get our kids prepared, because one of the we're not allowed to be involved in training, getting ready for the start of the season. And we had the most soft tissue injuries that I've ever been around. And I think you have to give your kids, a 4 to 6 week period of time of training to run, to lift, to get themselves prepared to start training camp, not just add an extra day, 2 weeks of practice with pads. That's not going to be the answer. These kids, a lot of them, our kids have not done anything until the end of February. And so we need significantly amount of time to get our kids from a safety standpoint.
Coach, listen, stay safe there in Naples, especially on that bike. They ought to take it easy on you on all the conditioning you're doing. But you'll come back lean, mean, and ready to lead the Panthers during the bowl game. Thanks so much for joining us on Fox Sports Radio.
Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it.
I love that my pleasure. Coach Davis, head coach of FIU, joining me on the Discover Card guest hotline. Get your free credit scorecard today. Even if you're not a Discover customer, it includes your FICO credit score and checking your scorecard won't hurt your credit. Learn more at discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply. Coming up next, our NBA players way too friendly with one another. We discuss next.
This is the Doug Gottlieb Show on Fox Sports Radio. We're all stuck at home, and we're finding out more about ourselves. Like sweats are all day attire. There was a reason you ate takeout all the time. Yeah, honey, that does taste good. You didn't really need all that volume. And you found out that we're the ones you've been listening to during these crazy times. We're Fox Sports Radio.
You check things all the time. Your email, your ex's IG. We're not checking something as important as your credit. Discover makes it quick and easy, and best of all, free. Discover is now offering FICO credit scores, score used by 90% of top lenders, for free, even if you're the customer. Checking your score won't hurt your credit, and you can check each month for changes. The Discover Credit Scorecard, free to everyone. Learn more at discover.com/credit scorecard. Limitations apply.
This is Derek, so I have a bike story. After the third time jump-starting my car, I finally realized my battery was dying. So I stopped by and routed and had it checked. They tested it right there in the parking lot. It was bad, really bad. But they helped me find the right battery for my car and even installed it free. Now my car starts like new. For 95 years, LTL Freight has hit the road to deliver the goods that keep businesses and communities moving. Now, in this uncertain time, we won't stop going that extra mile, because at the end of the day, we're all in this together for the long haul. Saia LTL Freight, driving stability, safety, support, strength. Visit Saia.com. That's SAIA.com. These past several weeks, healthcare workers, first responders, and retail workers have emerged as heroes. Lowe's recognizes their efforts, and we want you to join us in creating DIY thank you messages using items you can find in your home. A can of paint, wood scraps, or even Christmas lights. You can find ideas to get you started at Lowe's.com/goldthanks. Once your message is ready, share it outside your home for them to see, and online using the hashtag GoldThanks.
Suzanne Lyle, Ruth Whitman, Catherine Blackburn. On the WGY original podcast, Upstate Unsolved, we go beyond the headlines of upstate New York's unsolved crimes. Come to Vila Faya, binge seasons 1 and 2 of Upstate Unsolved on the free iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
iHeartMedia knows small businesses across the country are facing new challenges during the COVID-19 pandemic. So to help, we put together the iHeartRadio Small Business Crisis Resource, which has critical information, including links to federal and state resources, providing businesses with stimulus loans, grants, and other financial aid. We also shine a spotlight on small businesses doing good right now. Visit iHeart.com/smallbusiness to learn more. That's iHeart.com/smallbusiness, because your small business is big to us.
For the ones we trust to always be there. For the ones caring for others. For the ones who keep things going, no matter where they are. In extraordinary times, extraordinary people step up, like the ones
repairs, collision and body shop centers, and vehicle sales by remote or electronic means have been classified as essential, and most are currently open for you. We are all practicing the proper social distancing and cleaning protocols at our facilities. Contact our dealerships to schedule sales appointments or service for a safe check-in, drop-off, or pickup process. Be safe and know that we are here for you and your vehicle questions or concerns.
Brought to you by Any Car and this radio station. Hey, it's Zach Harris of Fox Sports 980 and 95.9 FM. Coronavirus is impacting us all, and it's in our community. But we're New York tough, and we're going to get through this together. The best way to stay healthy is to stop the spread and stay home. If you do need to leave your home, make sure you cover your face and stay at least 6 feet away from others. Washing your hands is also very important. Make sure you wash your hands regularly throughout the day for at least 20 to 30 seconds. We're in this together, and we will get through this. For more information, check out ny.gov/coronavirus.
When you need auto parts, O'ReillyAuto.com is just a few clicks away. We offer convenient options for you to get your parts quickly. Order online and pick up for free at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. We'll even bring it out curbside. Or you can have your parts delivered right to your door with free shipping on most orders over $35. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com. Auto Parts. Have you mixed your pain meds, your sleep meds, your allergy meds? Call the Poison Helpline. Has your child eaten a tube of toothpaste, a chip of mushroom? Call the Poison Helpline. Have you been bitten by a spider, a snake, an insect? Call the Poison Helpline. Poisonings can happen at the home, on the job, or in the great outdoors. Call the Poison Helpline first for fast, free advice from medical professionals. Call 1-800-222-1222 anytime, anywhere. 1-800-222-1222. Save the number, save a life. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Fox Sports 980, now on 95.9 FM. To find FS1 on your television, go to foxsports.com for details. Broadcasting live from the studios of Fox Sports Radio, here's Doug Gottlieb.
Radio. This is interesting. Fire, what is your actual hometown?
Merrill, Wisconsin.
Merrill, Wisconsin. How do you spell it?
Merrill.
Merrill. How's the public golf club?
What's that?
How's the public golf club?
I have an airport, but Mosinee, to be exact.
Mosinee.
Yeah.
Okay. It is, what is it known for? What is like the one thing? Why does Merrill exist in this world? It's on the river?
Yeah, a lot of towns there, paper mills, going up, but yeah, it's on the river, Wisconsin.
It's a couple hours east of Minneapolis. It's northwest of Green Bay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, west-northwest.
That sounds very cool. That's very, very cool.
We're like 3 hours directly east of
I bring it up because, oil is bottomed out, really, right? So what they do is they send it all to Cushing, Oklahoma. Cushing, Oklahoma is the pipeline's crossroad of the world. I only know this because my wife's from Drumright, Oklahoma, actually in the suburbs of Drumright, Oklahoma, which is, half her family lives in Cushing, which is like 3-4 miles from the house. And I mean, you want about like oil tanks, they can store 85 million barrels of oil. So it's like crazy. It's one of those things, that'll be a big story when you turn on the news today. All this oil, they're just going to hold it until the price of oil goes up. And that's where they store it. Let's get to what's fun.
And now,
this is Colin Cowherd talking about Michael Jordan playing golf with Danny Ainge during his second year in the NBA in the playoffs.
We tend to romanticize the past a little bit too much. The guys in the old days, they all hated each other, and guys today are now all friends. Oh, really? So Danny Ainge and Michael Jordan are golfing on a day off. The star of the Bulls and a star of the Celtics are golfing during the playoff series. Yeah, they didn't hate each other. Magic and Bird, really close friends. By the way, Magic and Isaiah for years, really close friends. First of all, guys back then, they played cards, they golfed, they had fun, they chased it, they drank, they smoked cigars together, off-season, and probably in-season. The difference is this. Today's players are all paid well. Everybody was fighting for a very small financial pie. Now, Otto Porter's rich. Everybody's rich. So it's not as desperate.
I would agree. I would say it's not just in terms of once they're in the NBA, even their upbringing. There are still some guys that are from really, really tough upbringings. But by and large, the quality of life in our country, especially the quality of life for some of these young star basketball players, is much, much higher than it was 20, 30 years ago. Just is. And so you're not necessarily, you're coming into the league with a certain amount of affluence. I mean, look, everything's nicer. Just is. I mean, my alma mater, we used to have to share the showers of our locker room with the referees for football games. And there was like 2 shower heads that worked. So we weren't all piling in the showers at once. And now, if you ever see Oklahoma State's locker room, it's like a Vegas suite. Every individual showers. You close the door, you can put your phone, you listen to music while you shower. Everything is nicer. And yes, that does create a hungrier, you're playing for something more than just to win. You're also playing for them. And the way we coach kids at a younger age now, in terms of AAU games, you lose, you keep playing. You play 6 to 8 games per weekend regardless of it. Whereas you used to play a pool play 1 game in tournament, you lose, you go home. Yes, Ryan.
Well, one thing I would disagree with, and I don't know how much of this is, folklore and how much of it is accurate. Some of the stories that are told about Jordan and when he would play golf or hang out with these guys was because he was almost playing mental mind games with them to try and get close to them before trying to rip their hearts out on the basketball court.
He's one of the few guys that played golf. His whole, Jordan liked playing golf. He was one of the few guys.
Even in the doc, they said after he got done playing, he's talking trash, hey, tell your guy DJ I got something good for him coming.
He wasn't. LeBron generally, Lebron's thing is way different. His agent and friend represents a good portion of other guys in the league. He has them all. Now look, there's still bitter rivalries. LeBron and Steph, they don't get down. They're just not. They're different people, different groups. But you also don't see you see the viciousness between the Pistons and the Bulls. We don't have that anymore. It doesn't the grindhouse Memphis, those guys were physical, but not to the point of being dirty. That has disappeared from the sport. Some rightfully so, but some of that grittiness is missing. What does the box say? All right, here's the big question. Did this documentary come out because Jordan thought LeBron was eclipsing his star? We'll discuss next in the Doug Outlook Show. You guys have heard me talk about Norton 360 with LifeLock, a cyber safety solution that helps protect your device's identity and online privacy. And while cybersecurity is important right now, I want to tell you something really special that Norton LifeLock is doing. With kids going online more for schoolwork and entertainment right now, it's important to keep them safe when they're connected. And as a company that's dedicated to your cyber safety, wants to do their part to help. That's why they're giving away 6 months of Norton Family for free. It helps you monitor your kids' online activities, blocks unsuitable sites while your kids are surfing the internet, lets you see what websites, search terms, videos, and Android apps they are downloading, helps your kids avoid accidentally giving out sensitive personal information like your phone number or address, and more. Norton LifeLock is committed to help keep your family safer online. Get Norton Family for 6 months for free. No payment information is required. Sign up today at norton.com/family. That's norton.com/family for 6 months free.
This report is sponsored by Upwork, when you need in-demand talent on demand.
Little volume on westbound alternate 7 coming into 787, but it looks like that road work has wrapped up for the day. Eastbound a little bit slower to Route 9, but it looks like that crash has been cleared. Up and down the Northway, we're in pretty good shape, and no complaints at all along I-90 or 787. And the thruway is good. Site construction busways near 787. From the WGY Price Chopper Market 32 Traffic Center, I'm Mike Barker. Upwork has the world's largest network of proven independent professionals, and I have an alphabetical list of them. Accountants, administrative assistants, animators, architects. You get the point. When you need independent
all-new virtual hub, updated daily with live streams, exclusive artist content, new music, and more, keeping you connected to your favorite artists. Go to livenation.com/live from home.
How much money would you like to save? Just by doing something you're already doing. How about 40%? With Allstate, safe drivers can save 40% just by doing something they're already doing. Driving safe? That's right, 40% just by driving safe. Visit Allstate.com or call a local agent for a quote today and see just how much you can save when you drive safe with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Savings vary based on DriveWise and other safe driving discounts. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
When you need auto parts, O'ReillyAuto.com is just a few clicks away. We offer convenient options for you to get your parts quickly. Order online and pick up for free at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store. We'll even bring it out curbside. Or you can have your parts delivered right to your door with free shipping on most orders over $35. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com. Auto Parts.
Here's this week's iHeartRadio countdown of the top TV streams.
Here's what you've been watching on TV this week. First up, we're in the 18th season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and the Date My Daughter episode of the E-Series lands at number 5. Next, jealousy and tension mount on the Bravo reality show Below Deck Sailing Yacht, which moves up to number 4. Schwartz and Katie get married a second time on Bravo's Vanderpump Rules. That show falls back to 3rd place. Then at number 2, the BBC drama Killing Eve is back with season 3. And finally, the top spot goes to AMC's Better Call Saul. The Bad Choice Road episode is your number 1 TV stream.
And those are your top TV streams of the week on iHeartRadio.
Have you ever felt so dizzy you could hardly stand up? You're not alone. Millions of people struggle with dizziness and experience the debilitating symptoms of vestibular dysfunction, such as vertigo, nausea, and ringing in their ears. Vestibular disorders affect people of all ages and can impact ability to work, go to school, or just perform everyday tasks like shopping and getting dressed. Because these symptoms are invisible and difficult to describe, they're often overlooked by doctors and dismissed by family and friends. But there is hope. Visit vestibular.org or call 800-837-8428. If you or someone you know has experienced a persistent sense of dizziness or lack of balance, visit vestibular.org to search for a vestibular specialist in your area. The Vestibular Disorders Association can help you discover a life rebalanced. Visit vestibular.org, that's vestibular.org, or call 800-837-8428.
WOFX Troy, to Albany, W240EC Albany, Fox Sports 980 and 95.9 FM. Driven by Mohawk Chevrolet in Clifton Park.
iHeartRadio wants to help with a chance at $1,000. Text the nationwide keyword SMILE to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest.
News in the NFL, and I guess it's good news for the Dallas Cowboys, or if you're a Cowboy fan. Dallas Morning News said the team and Dak Prescott have held positive talks on a contract extension for the quarterback, but no deal done between the two sides. More NFL news as the league today held a mock draft in advance of their virtual draft on Thursday. A minor glitch at the start according to reports, but other than that, things went really smooth. Those were the words of Broncos president John Elway, who took part in the process. Jets GM Joe Douglas said he plans to keep safety Jamal Adams with the team for a long time. Adams is unhappy with his current contract situation. Douglas says he'll connect with Adams after the draft. Patriots today unveiled their new uniforms with their old Color Rush Navy unis now serving as their full-time home uniforms. Bat maker Louisville Slugger has closed their factory and furloughed most of the company's workforce because of coronavirus. I'm Dan Meyer.
Some free online resources for youth and high school sports coaches, parents, students, and administrators. Visit pcadevzone.org.
WGY AccuWeather forecast turning cloudy in the capital region tonight, the low 32. Mostly cloudy tomorrow, windy with a couple of showers in the morning, followed by a shower or heavy thunderstorm in the afternoon, the high 51. Windy and cold Wednesday, sunshine and a few clouds, the high 45. With your AccuWeather forecast, I'm Drew Shannon on News Radio 810 and 103.1 WGY.
Right now, sun and clouds, 54 in News Radio 810 and 103.1. WGY, the tests started on Sunday, could be concluded the next day or so. Thousands of New Yorkers tested for coronavirus antibodies. Brad Hutton, the Deputy Commissioner of Public Health for the State Department of Health, he tells WGY News the test consists of a finger prick that draws a little blood that goes on a card when the blood is dried.
Identify whether or not a person has an antibody, which could suggest they were previously infected 3 or more weeks ago with the COVID-19 virus. And so the test is going to be very helpful for us to determine what the percentage of the population is that might have been infected, and including those who didn't even know it.
And those tests, all 3,000 of them, will be shipped to Wadsworth Lab here in Albany. Some results should be known in a couple of days. A report should be issued by the end of the week. Hutton says they've been going to grocery stores like Price Chopper in our area, Wegmans in central New York to randomly test people. Governor Cuomo said the results will be used to develop a plan to reopen the state economy. Over the course of the past 4 weeks, about 1.2 million New Yorkers have filed for unemployment, causing a massive backlog of claims. Benefits paid this week.
So that's all been cleared. Those phone calls all happened. Those applications are closed. Now those applications get inputted and the controller starts to process the checks. So that backlog of people this week should see the money coming.
News Channel 13 spoke with state workers who cut down the 225,000 open applications to 4,300, providing much needed relief to those affected by the virus. The annual food truck vendor season began today in Albany.
The trucks are staged next to West Capitol Park along Washington Avenue and State Street east of the Swan Street intersections, and new this year along New Scotland Avenue between the Albany Medical Center Physicians Pavilion parking lot and South Lake Avenue. In light of the coronavirus outbreak, food trucks will be separated from one another by at least 10 feet. Operators are also required to make sure all patrons comply with social distancing requirements. George Morris, News Radio 810 and 103.1 WGY.
Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are breaking loose from 4 major British tabloids. The couple sending a letter last night. Editors of the Mail, the Sun, the Express, and the Mirror writing they are, quote, setting a new media relations policy. Will no longer offer themselves up as, quote, currency for an economy of clickbait and distortion. Duke and Duchess of Sussex told editors of the publications they believe in free press, wanted to make it clear their new policy is not about avoiding criticism. They wrote the media have the right to report on and have an opinion on them, good or bad, but clarified it cannot be based on a lie. WGY News Time 5:04. Very poor start to the week on Wall Street. Let's get the latest and the Bloomberg Market Minute.
This Bloomberg Market Minute on WGY is presented by Fagan Associates. It's your money, and we know that.
Oil fell below zero for the first time ever amid collapsing demand. Traders found themselves in a bind as the May futures contract expired today, not wanting to get stuck owning crude with nowhere to store it as tanks neared capacity. A crude finished at minus $37.63 a barrel, down $55.90, 306%. Stocks began the week with a sharp sell-off. ExxonMobil and Chevron led the Dow to a loss of 592. The S&P 500 tumbled 51. The Nasdaq Composite slid 89. The COVID-19 pandemic has become the latest hurdle for IBM in its transition to cloud computing. It reported lower first-quarter sales as it withdrew its outlook for the year. The coronavirus pandemic isn't standing in the way of a planned $14 million auto dealership in Saratoga County. The planning board has approved plans for a new Mohawk Chevrolet dealership near Northway Exit 12. From Bloomberg, I'm Larry Kosky on 810 and 103.1 WGY.
For more news, listen to the Daily Dive. The big news stories explained, not shouted. Listen to the Daily Dive each day on the iHeartRadio app, wherever you get your favorites. 3-1 WGY. Capital Region's breaking news, traffic, and weather station.
Everyone's got advice on how to protect your health right now. Hi, I'm Rick Edelman. What I want to do is show you how you can protect your...
Before getting the claps from hospital workers when he was released last week, Murphy used the happy ending as a word of caution.
Don't think for 1 minute that just because you exercise that you're immune. You're not. And Jack is one of the extremely lucky ones.
Mac Rosenberg, WCBS News Radio 880.
Nurses are filing suit, saying they've been put in harm's way while caring for the infected. The State Nurses Association filed 5 lawsuits today. 3 of them are against the state. The other 2 suits are against Montefiore Medical Center and Westchester Medical Center. The Journal says the suits claim the nurses
have been subjected to dangerous work guidelines and PPE shortages during the coronavirus outbreak. Also, that nurses who contracted COVID-19 themselves were forced to return to work prematurely. WCBS News Time is 5:07.
It's Wayne Cabot, and as a Jersey guy, I'm thrilled. WCBS will be broadcasting Jersey for Jersey, an event to benefit the New Jersey Pandemic Relief Fund. Bruce Springsteen, John Bon Jovi, Jon Stewart, and many others, including Halsey from my neck of the woods, will raise money for those stricken with COVID-19 in New Jersey. Listen Wednesday night at 7 on WCBS, and you can donate now at njprf.org.
Is that a faucet running? That's not a faucet. That's a river rushing through the forest. Forest rivers provide over 100 million people with clean water to drink. What? I can't hear you because of the vacuum. That's not a vacuum. That's the trees in the forest, cleaning up the air we breathe. I didn't know the trees are so amazing. Yep, and the forest gives us shade, trees to climb. Awesome. Let's go explore some more.
Visit the forest today and enjoy all it does, just for you. To learn more about the forest and find one near you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council. At CDW, we get modern servers need to be flexible, scalable, and predictable. I predicted you'd say that.
Okay, what will I say next?
Probably something about server security.
Impressive and freaky. CDW can implement secure Hewlett-Packard Enterprise Gen 10 servers that improve speed and performance while reducing
costs. Be predictable.
IP orchestration by CDW. People who get it.
I predict a web address.
CDW.com/HPE.
I'm in your mind, man.
WCBS News Time is 5:08. It's time for traffic and weather together on the 8th Traffic Center first. Hi, Tom Kaminsky.
Good afternoon, Linda. Let's start on the BQE southbound. We now have a collision right around Atlantic Avenue. One lane is blocked, so we're heading from that area as you get in toward the Brooklyn Bridge, down toward Atlantic Avenue, and then more delays onto the outbound side of the Gowanus. We go to the east side, southbound FDR Drive at 96. We have a collision and one lane is blocked, so northbound delays there as well. The northbound side of the West Side Highway, really not bad at this point, getting up toward the outbound side of the GWB. We've had the outbound upper level GWB, all of that work has now been cleared away. The Taconic, northbound at 301 in Putnam Valley, we had a crash there. In Chappaqua, the northbound Sawmill at exit 32, that is Hunts Lane, we have a crash, and lanes being alternately open and closed there. I'm Tom Kaminsky in the WCBS Traffic Center.
Let's get a check of our weather forecast now. We head over to the Weather Center. Good afternoon, Craig Allen.
Hi there, Linda, and things keep getting a little bit brighter and better as we go through the rest of the afternoon. I know not too many hours of sunlight left, but the sky continues to clear from west to east, and tonight will become partly cloudy to clear. 45 in the city, 30s in many of the colder suburbs. Tomorrow, it starts off with sunshine, but then variably cloudy and a high near 60. But by mid-afternoon, late afternoon into the evening, could get a little active around here with showers and thunderstorms, and a couple of those thunderstorms have the potential to be strong ones. So on our toes tomorrow afternoon to keep an eye on those storms. Tuesday night, the reason for all this is it gets windy and colder. Lows in the 30s, and Wednesday a mix of sun and clouds. A windy, unseasonably chilly day with highs only 50 to 55. Right now 54, humidity 31%, and a light northeast breeze. Tonight's low, Linda, is at 45 for the city.
Thanks, Craig. WCBS News Time is 5:10. A good Samaritan who helped out first responders after 9/11 is now doing the same great work during the coronavirus pandemic. It's a difference maker story from WCBS 880, supported by New York Community Bank and the NYCB family of banks, serving the needs of communities since 1859.
In the months after 9/11, Rhonda Roman Shearer brought masks and boots to workers at Ground Zero. Now she's providing masks, gowns, and gloves to hospital staff. Her experience helps.
This is like a marketplace where you have to really be expert on what is available, the quality and the pricing, and it is a zoo.
She's kept a line of credit worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to pay for this. She's hoping donations will cover her costs, although she's not sure.
Do you think the nurses and doctors and maintenance workers that clean the COVID-19 patients' rooms know their outcome? No.
Shearer's co-founder of the nonprofit Art Science Research Lab. Peter Haskell, WCBS News Radio 880.
WCBS News Time 5:11.
It
It may not be stomach issues.
For me, it's intense gas, or pain, or diarrhea, sometimes all at once, over and over.
I spent years with the symptoms, but could never figure it out. No matter what I did, they never went away. So I decided to break it down to my doctor and get really specific about my symptoms.
We discovered that exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI, may be the reason for my stomach issues.
EPI is caused by my pancreas. It leads to diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools. The symptoms just don't go away.
But EPI can show up with even one symptom.
The good news? EPI is manageable. But to get to the right diagnosis, you have to break it down for your doctor and get specific about the severity of your symptoms. Visit identifyepi.com to learn more and use the symptom checker to help change the conversation with your doctor. Brought to you by AbbVie.
It's time now for sports. The NFL draft is later this week. Jets general manager Joe Douglas said his intent is not to move any players before the draft. He also intends to talk with safety Jamal Adams after. Adams is skipping the virtual offseason and is looking for a long-term extension. The team has yet to offer one. NFL Network reported the Giants have talked with Oregon quarterback Justin Herbert virtually. With Daniel Jones already in the fold, this could be a smokescreen or just doing their due diligence. General Manager Dave Gettleman reiterated last week they are open to moving that fourth pick in the first round on Thursday. Seton Hall officially announced Bryce Aiken is joining the Pirates after transferring from Harvard. Guard Anthony Nelson is reportedly leaving the program. WCBS News Time, 5:13.
Subway restaurants want you to know that they're still providing food during these unprecedented circumstances and are open for takeout and delivery in the New York, New Jersey area. Delivery available in selected areas. See subway.com/deliver for details.
To see now what these brave warriors are doing in the house, just think that the American public owe a phenomenal debt of gratitude. A message from WCBS 880 and Tunnel to Tower is supplying hospitals with personal protective equipment to help keep these and support our heroes. Donate 11.44 Bravest.
You are never more than 15 minutes from the big stories on WCBS.
Good afternoon, I'm Linda Lopez. Three things to know at 5:15. One, Mayor de Blasio has canceled permits for parades in June. The events canceled include the Puerto Rican Day Parade, the Pride Parade, and the Celebrate Israel Parade. Two, Governor Cuomo says hospitalizations are down and new COVID-19 cases remain flat. Three, we are awaiting a press conference from President Trump and the White House Coronavirus Task Force, expected to start this half hour, and we'll bring that to you when it begins. WCBS News Time, 5:16. The price of oil has plunged to never-before-seen lows. The price falling below zero for the first time ever. Tom Kloza is the chief oil analyst of the Oil Price Information Service and joins us now. Tom, what happened today and how bad did it get?
Well, what happened is we went from $10 a barrel down to a negative $40 a barrel. And I've been doing this for portions of 5 decades, and I've never seen a negative price for food. We've seen it in natural gas, we've seen it in electricity, but not for food. And it speaks to the fact that there are a lot of paper traders, investors, fund managers, black box machines who got caught long. And when they went to the door for exit, there was no door to be found. So just an incredible apocalyptic day for the WTI contract in crude.
Because it's essentially a picture of the futures and what people are expecting to pay and need.
It is, but I wouldn't get used to you'll see gas prices and diesel prices continue to drift lower along with jet fuel. But ultimately, it's kind of an abstraction at the moment, and that may persist through the second quarter.
When things start to reopen and people get moving again, will they see some lower prices, or do you think that will not be the case?
We'll see lower prices well into the summer. I mean, we've lost the first half of the driving season, so to speak, and we're actually looking at demand levels for gasoline that are the equivalent of what we saw in March 1968. I couldn't even drive then, but I was alive.
It's really an unprecedented decline in demand, and we had too much oil when Russia and Saudi Arabia were in a production war, and we're still feeling the impact of that, although they'll cut production next month.
Well, as you said, you've done this for decades. What do you make of these plummeting prices today?
I would regard it as an anomaly, but I would regard it as an admission that anything goes right now for asset classes. If you think about it, and you hear about negative interest rates overseas in a lot of countries, and the possibility of that here, negative numbers are not that unheard of in the 21st century. So I hope I get negative interest rates on my mortgage, but I don't suspect I'll get paid to remove gasoline and put it in my car.
I think a lot of Americans are hoping for that. Tom Cloza is the chief oil analyst of the Oil Price Information Service. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
From gas prices to the roads, we head over to the traffic center to Tom Kaminsky.
All right, Linda, let's start first off on the LIE westbound. We had a vehicle fire at 111 that is now extinguished and cleared away. We do have a note for you in Nassau, northbound side Wantagh Parkway at Sunrise Highway. Watch for a crash in the FDR Drive southbound 96th Street. A collision BQE southbound side at Atlantic Avenue. Watch for a crash there. I'm Tom Kaminsky in the WCBS Traffic Center.
Time for our 5-day forecast now. Here's meteorologist Craig Allen.
All right, Linda, we hit 57 this afternoon as the sky began to brighten up and clear. Now, still, the normal high should be 63. We will try for that tomorrow, but we go the other way. We start with sunshine and the clouds start coming back, and this time they'll bring some showers and possibly even a thunderstorm for the afternoon and evening hours, and a couple of those storms may be strong. They may be quite intense, so we'll keep an eye on radar for you all day tomorrow. Tonight's low 45, 30s in the suburbs, and then tomorrow, as I said, a little over 60. Then it's windy and colder for Tuesday night and Wednesday. Unseasonably chilly temperatures, 30s for Tuesday night, wind chill in the upper 20s. Wednesday's high just 50 to 55. Stay connected with the Altice 5-day forecast, increasing clouds on Thursday. It now looks like rain gets in here during Thursday afternoon and likely for Thursday night. Near 55, so in other words, it's a little bit faster now, and therefore Friday windy with rain in the morning at least, but perhaps a little clearing later in the day, and a high of 54 to 58. For the city right now, it's down to 54, humidity 31%.
WCBS News Time is 5:20. We are still awaiting the press conference from President Trump and the White House Coronavirus Task Force to start within the half hour, and we will bring that to you live when it begins. Northwell Health is now doing what Governor Cuomo and others have proposed, giving healthcare workers added pay. The company has announced it's awarding employees a $2,500 lump sum payment plus an added week of time off. Eligible workers include nurses, physicians, and respiratory therapists, whether they're in a union or not. Also housekeepers and other support staff. Just today, Governor Cuomo called for giving hospital workers hazard pay. The NYPD made 2 gun arrests and handed out 60 summonses at a Brooklyn party Saturday night. The bust at the NB Barbershop in Canarsie follows warnings from city officials, including the mayor, that social distancing rules will not be ignored. Police Commissioner Dermot Shea spoke on New York One.
People are coming up to us and saying, I can't believe how many police officers we see on the street. Officers are out there, they're keeping people safe, they're doing what NYPD cops do every day. They've done a phenomenal job under the most difficult of circumstances. And they're warning people all the time. They're keeping order at stores, they're doing all of that. But when we have a situation where we have 50, 60, 70 people crammed into an illegal establishment, it's a little past warnings and we have to take action.
Shea said New Yorkers need to weather the storm and stay home. Nassau County's executive is looking to give taxpayers some relief during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Nassau County Executive Laura Kern wants the governor to extend the date when the school portion of property taxes are due for 3 weeks until June 1st.
Now, we know that 70% of property taxes is in escrow. The other 30% whose mortgages are paid off or have no mortgage, they've got to do the payments themselves. And included in that 30% are property business owners and our seniors, people who are struggling.
And she wants further assistance for residents in need.
We're working today with the legislature to approve our allocation of federal money to get food, health services, PPE, counseling, and other things that they need for those
been hardest hit by this pandemic.
And marinas are opening. The rules still need to be followed, says the police commissioner, Patrick Ryder.
Marine Bureau is fully staffed and will be out there on the waters. Our big constables from all the townships will be out there. And again, if we use common sense, the new norm will take place and we'll all be fine.
Sophia Hall, WCBS News Radio 880. WCBS News Time, 5:23.
I'm WCBS anchor Michael Wallace. I'm Paul Murnane.
I'm WCBS anchor Linda Lopez.
I'm Wayne Cabot. I'm WCBS anchor Steve Scott. We are seeing amazing stories of selfless acts by first responders, caregivers, and friends and neighbors.
When things get rough in the tri-state, we always come through.
Keep doing your part. Stay home. Stay connected. The WCBS team is here for you. We'll get you the news you need at WCBS 880 and WCBS880.com. Or ask your smart speaker to play WCBS News Radio 880.
This is a difficult time for many, and at Investors Bank, they're committed to keeping you informed on all the ways they're offering support in this rapidly changing situation. Visit their updates and resources page at investorsbank.com for the most current information, and follow them on social media. Investors Bank, member FDIC.
During this unprecedented health crisis, Van Buren Buick GMC of Garden City Park is open for service, parts, and vehicle sales remotely. They're committed to supporting their customers, employees, and local community. Stay healthy and visit VanBurenAuto.com to learn more.
WCBS News Time is 5:25. It's time for Money News now. Here's Bloomberg's Tracy Donkey.
Linda, if you think the stock markets have been crazy, at least stocks aren't worth less than nothing. That is what happened in the oil market today, with the price of oil at a negative $37.63 a barrel in New York futures trading. Needless to say, that is a first. The Dow fell 592 points to 23,650. That's a loss of around 2.5%. Nasdaq down 89 points at 8561. The S&P is down 51 points. And the Bloomberg WCBS Land Rover Tri-State Business Index is down almost 2%. Shake Shack is returning its $10 million federal loan to the Small Business Rescue Program that ran out of money last week. The bill that created the Paycheck Protection Program did allow chains to apply. Shake Shack executives say in a statement they did not realize that the program was so underfunded until they applied. With Money News at 25 and 55 on WCBS on Bloomberg, Tracy Johnke.
To my WCBS 880 listeners, we know how important it is for you to stay connected during this time. That's why our friends at Optimum are here and ready to support you. Their advanced fiber network line, you don't miss a beat. Plus, they're even helping TV customers stay entertained at home by offering free previews of several TV networks, including Showtime, Disney Junior, Cooking Channel, Hallmark Channel, and more. So the whole family has more shows and movies to watch at no extra cost. Personally, I've been using my TV and internet at home now more than ever. My family is entertained, watching tons of shows and movies, and thanks to Optimum speeds of up to 1 gig, I'm able to stay connected to all of you. For more on what they're doing, visit Optimum.com. Keep you connected.
In business today, being ready is more challenging than ever. As you work to keep your doors open and employees and customers protected, Cintas is here to help. Our trucks can deliver essential. We can even sanitize your restrooms. We'll serve you with the speed and dedication you need. Learn how Cintas can help your business stay ready at Cintas.com. Okay, you know how it feels when you've saved enough for that long-awaited home edition? Now imagine an addition on that addition. That's the feeling with Capital One, where a new savings account earns an interest rate 5 times the national average. That's right, 5 times, as represented by 5 times more singers. This is banking reimagined. Capital One, what's in your wallet? Terms apply. Free comparison based on FDIC national rate. Capital One NA member FDIC.
When things get rough in the tri-state, we always come through. I'm WCBS anchor Linda Lopez. During the coronavirus crisis, we need to show each other kindness and support. We've faced tough challenges before. Together, there's nothing we can't get through. We'll do our part covering this story 24/7 for you on air and online. Now, more than ever, count on WCBS.
Chock full of nuts would like to say, hang in there, New York. They are your favorite kind of coffee, but they want you to know you are their favorite kind of people.
WCBS News Time, 5:28. It's time for traffic and weather. Together on the 8th Traffic Center first.
FDR Drive, 96th Street, we had a crash. We had at least one lane still blocked there. The northbound side a little bit slow through that stretch, and then really not bad from there up toward the outbound side of the GWB. We had delays really not bad on the west side up to the outbound George. We did have a problem on Columbus Avenue. All of that is now cleared away. We had a collision and some police activity. That is now wrapped up. In Brooklyn on the southbound BQE, delays in through Atlantic Avenue. We had a crash there cleared, and then more delays getting onto the Prospect inbound side of the Gowanus, right at the Prospect Expressway. We had a crash, and at least one lane was blocked. Holland and Lincoln tunnels, the outbound side looked to be in good shape. One other note for you, the Belt Parkway westbound at Pennsylvania Avenue, a collision there is now off to the shoulder. And just a note at the Holland, beginning tonight is when we're going to start to have that overnight construction. The inbound Holland tunnel will be shut down from 11 p.m. until 5 a.m. That is work, repair work that has been, that is going to be ongoing for about 2 years. This is repair work from Superstorm Sandy that still has to be done at the inbound side of the Holland. So that long-term project begins tonight during the overnights, starting at about 11 o'clock tonight. And here comes Craig Allen in the WCBS Weather Center.
Well, the rain from the offshore storm system is still out there over the ocean. I mean, it's a couple hundred miles away. It's not coming back at us, but just to show you what a huge storm this really is. And the clouds that we had during the afternoon are finally starting to thin out and clear away. Tonight's low will be about 45 in the city, 30s in many of the colder suburbs. We will start with some sunshine, that is, for tomorrow. Variably cloudy in the afternoon. Here, be carefully. Clearing, windy, and colder for Tuesday night and
more than just the headlines. This is WC virus in New York, but the state's daily death toll dropped below 500 for the first time since April 2nd. The governor also confirming the state will begin widespread antibody testing today, which he says could be key to reopening. In Europe, a number of countries are starting to ease their restrictions. It turns out New York is not the best place to work from home. And we are awaiting that press conference from President Trump and the White House Coronavirus Task Force. We will bring it to you live as soon as it begins. 54 degrees, partly sunny on this Monday, April 20th. Good afternoon. I'm Linda Lopez. WCBS News Time is 5:31. The mayor announced today the cancellation of 3 of the city's biggest parades in June, including the Puerto Rican Day Parade and the Pride Parade. WCBS reporter Marla Diamond covered the mayor's news conference. Marla, how big a blow is this to parade organizers?
Well, it's not unexpected, Linda, although this is the first time the always colorful Pride Parade has been canceled in a half century, 50 years. Last year's Pride March was monumental in New York City, the 50th anniversary of the Stonewall Inn uprising, and more than 5 million spectators and marchers took part. The mayor said that it's not a decision that he wanted to make, but given the social distancing rules, he had to make it. Large gatherings, he says, just don't make sense now. The Salute to Israel parade will also be canceled. The mayor says the city is working with the organizers of all 3 events to possibly reschedule if conditions permit in the fall, but he's not optimistic. The organizers of the Pride Parade released a statement after the mayor's announcement. They are encouraging people to celebrate by tuning into a virtual global Pride event on June 27th. The Public Theater in Central Park also announced that it would cancel the summer Shakespeare in the Park series.
So pretty much our events for June are being canceled by the city. We know today New York also begins antibody testing for COVID-19. Now, was the mayor optimistic that this could actually get the city back to work?
He said that antibody testing will be done in the city, but did not sound a very optimistic note about, this helping New Yorkers get back to work anytime soon. There's been some questions about the efficacy of the antibody testing and whether or not it can tell you if a person is somewhat immune to getting it again. The mayor says that it would take hundreds of thousands of tests per day, and he's also calling for temperature checks going back into workplaces. He says that will be tough too because there just aren't enough thermometers to do that. The mayor's grim for testing.
And what else did the mayor have to say in his press conference?
On the bright side, he said the number of hospitalizations in city hospitals went down over the weekend. from over 300 to 212, and the number of newly diagnosed cases is down around the low 30s, about 34%. He also mentioned that hospitals have enough PPEs, personal protective equipment, and ventilators, but he did say there aren't enough gas. But the mayor is asking that the president use his powers to ramp up production of.
In his daily briefing, Governor Cuomo have some positive facts to disclose. WCBS reporter Rich Lamb joins us now. What did Mr. Cuomo have to say?
Well, Governor Cuomo reported some encouraging trends. He noted the 3-day average of hospitalizations is going down, along with a reduced number of intubations, which the governor labeled as great news. But Cuomo declared the question now is assuming we're off the plateau, and the numbers would suggest we are seeing a descent. The further question is, how long is the descent and how steep? And he answered that question by saying, nobody knows. He acknowledged the numbers are coming down, but then asked, how fast does it come down, as he put it, to where it becomes a low enough number that we have some confidence that we have a margin of error. The governor added, some projections say 2 weeks, some say a month. Cuomo said projections are nice, but I wouldn't bet the farm on them, and he said, I don't even have a farm.
Well, Rich, the governor's good news did come with a caveat, right?
It did. The governor started his warning about the relatively good numbers by saying, we know what's going to happen now. The weather's going to warm. People are a little more relaxed because they see the numbers coming down. They want to get out of the house and be more active, and they will. He said, when that activity level increases, you can very well see that the infection rate will increase, and he declared, we make smart decisions, we will see smart outcomes in 2 weeks. We make bad decisions, you will see bad outcomes in 2 weeks. He said, this is cause and effect on steroids.
Yes, and the governor took a swipe at some of the protests against the lockdown that have popped up around the country.
He did. Cuomo said nobody likes this. Everybody's anxious to everyone is anxious to get back to work. So am I. The question is, what does that mean? How do we do it? And when do we do it? And he added, you don't need protests to convince anyone in this country that we have to get back to work and get the economy going. Nobody.
That's WCBS reporter Rich Lamb with the latest from Governor Cuomo's daily briefing. WCBS News Time is 5:36.
Have a car and need cash now? 1 Hour Cash for Cars will give you a cash offer for any car in any condition as long as you have a valid title. Call 1-800-331-34. Dead and won't start. No problem. Call 1-800-331-3456 and get whether your car is a junker or just a few years old, as long as you little as 1 hour. Online at 1hourcashforcars.com. That's the number 1 hour cash, the number 4 cars.com. 1 Hour Cash for Cars is the number 1 buyer in the country. Call 1-800-331-3456.
Your business ideas need a room to run wild, but there's no room for error when you're raising the bar. A reliable partner can make a real difference. That's the role of a realtor. An irreplaceable expert who represents your values. A reassuring voice of reason, helping you research and reach the right decisions, so you can run your business without running the risk. Is your agent a realtor? Look for the R. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
For the ones we trust to always be there. For the ones caring for others. For the ones who keep things going, no matter where they are. In extraordinary times, extraordinary people step up. Like the ones standing guard and standing on the front lines. And the ones who are staying apart while still working together. With your efforts, we will get through this. We're grateful for everything you do. And we'll always be here to help you do it. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
We're still awaiting the press conference from President Trump and the White House Coronavirus Task Force. We will bring that to you live when it begins. Right now at 5:38, it's time for traffic and weather. Together on the 8th, here's Tom Kaminsky.
All right, Linda, we have delays on the LIE westbound at the Clearview. We had a crash, one lane was blocked there. We go back on over to the east side. It is very slow on the FDR Drive southbound. Getting on into 96th Street, we did have a collision there. That's been cleared away. But then we have some delays now on the northbound side around 79th Street. We had a crash and at least one lane was closed. At this point, the west side is looking to be quite a bit better. We've had southbound delays in that area of 79th Street as well on the FTR Drive. Holland and Lincoln Tunnels outbound side look good. Getting a look in Westchester and Rockland at this point. No problems to report on Route 287 and the northbound freeway getting across the Cuomo Tappan Zee Bridge right up toward the Palisades Parkway. I'm Tom Kaminsky in the WCBS Traffic Center.
And we take you now to the White House, where President Trump is beginning his
Phase
briefing.
one and announcing plans for an economic in a situation where, we've got the talent around me to have another run. And that's what I didn't know. I mean, when I went to the Giants that year, they were coming off a 4-12 season. So we weren't stacked by any means, but we did some good things and we found some ways to win and we had some success, even though for me it looked completely different than the way I'd ever played before. And then when I got to Arizona, it was kind of the same thing. They haven't won in 50 years, one playoff game in like 50 years. And so it was a team that didn't know anything about winning. And so as you're going through that, it's not so much, hey, can you still throw a football? Can you still be successful? It's more, will I ever find myself in a situation again where I believe my skills coupled with the guys around me can have that sort of success and compete for a championship or compete for the playoffs? And that was the hard thing. And so it was a process moving forward. But personally, I never felt like I couldn't be the same guy I was early in my career. And just like when I got there, I never felt like, I couldn't play, even though I had played in Arena League and been cut and done all that stuff. I always felt like I could play. Now, I might have to play a little bit differently or lead a different way or find ways to win without throwing the ball for 350 yards a game. I get that. But I always felt that I could play, and so wasn't surprised that once we got things going and people started believing a little bit in Arizona, that we were able to have that kind of success.
Were you
Yeah, it was an interesting decision, and obviously from a personal standpoint, I was really disappointed because I didn't think I was playing bad. But the year before the Giants did to win, so the season had and he looked me in the eye. We needed. It was really just that we feel like this is the time. I think basically what they were saying was, we want to make this. Obviously, when you look back now, to lead that, look at you and go, well, here's why, and point out all these faults that you might have.
Right.
Tom looked me in the eye and just said, hey, it's not about you. This is about me making the decision that I feel is best for this organization moving forward. And I know it's not fair. Feeling like this was something that he had to do, not trying to point the finger at me in any way. And so disappointing personally, but I respected Tom Coughlin greatly because of how he did it, and I understood it. And that's the hardest part with anything, is when you're involved, it's hard to be realistic and understand there's another picture besides your own. All I wanted to think about was, I need to play. But when you step back and look at it, you understand why the Giants needed to make that move and how it could pay dividends for them sooner rather than later.
It's going to happen, probably not to somebody nearly as accomplished as you, but it's probably going to happen to someone else next year. A veteran quarterback's going to get a chance to play. They have just used a first-round pick on somebody. Maybe it happens in Miami with Fitzpatrick, and that guy's going to step in. Did you know it going in? Like, upon the season beginning, was there that thought of, look, I know I'm not going to be here long term, they have Eli, and that something like this is bound to happen in year one? Was that going through your mind?
Yeah, I think you always know that that's there. Anytime there's a young quarterback, and again, my situation was never, I'm going to be here long term, so it wasn't like I was trying to hold the seat for 3 or 4 years until Eli got ready. I knew it was going to be 1 year, probably at the most. And so for me, yeah, you always look over your shoulder. Like anytime you have a bad game, most teams, if you're not a great team, they're just looking for that opportunity. Okay, when does it feel right? Right? When does it seem like we're justified to make that move? And so, yeah, I was always looking over my shoulder. I think the one caveat was, A, we were winning, or winning enough, and B, I don't think there was a question that I was the better quarterback at that time. So I was hoping those two factors to kind of prolong it and give me, a few more games, or as I said, give me 16 games to prove to the rest of the league I could play. But yeah, I don't think you're ever surprised when a situation plays out like that and they draft a guy number 1 or top 10 overall, that there's not going to be moments when they sit back and wonder, is now the right time to replace this guy that's not our future for our future?
I know you got to run, but I got to ask you this real quick. As Larry Fitzgerald is taking that pass for the house against the Steelers in the Super Bowl, and I can still see that. And I was, I'm a big Jet fan. Boy, was I rooting for you guys. I wanted to see you guys win big time. As he's taking that to the house to put you guys ahead in the Super Bowl, did you think you had that game? Do you think the game was, man, we're going to win this game?
Well, all I can say to you is in my first Super Bowl, we scored with 2 minutes to go, and we tackled a guy on the 1 yard line to win that Super Bowl. My second Super Bowl, we scored with about 2 minutes to go, and another team kicked the field goal on the last play to beat us. So when we scored with 2.5 minutes to go in the Super Bowl, I would think I was the only one on the sideline that was saying, hold on, guys. Good players on the other sideline. A whole lot of time left. This thing is not over. As much as I wanted to celebrate and think that we had won, I had been in those situations too many times in these big moments and knew a lot could happen in just 2.5 minutes.
Kurt, we really appreciate it. We'll be watching the draft on Thursday, and stay safe.
All right, guys, take care. You stay safe.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you, man. Kurt Warner, NFL Network analyst. Tremendous.
Fascinating career. Fascinating career.
Well, look, you hit on it. Not only his emergence, but then, all right, it's over. Nice little run he had with the Rams. He's with the Giants. The Cardinals pick him up. And then a few years later, they're back in the Super Bowl. And I always think, you talk about the Super Bowl game against the Steelers, one of the great Super Bowls of all time. Kind of underrated. Very underrated Super Bowl.
Well, to play with James Harrison before halftime. I didn't bring that. We didn't have time for that.
He's one of those guys that we probably could have done 2 hours.
Yeah. We could have done a lot with him.
But I always thought that 08 Super Bowl was underrated because it followed an act that was impossible to follow, which is the Giants beating the Patriots the year before. But he plays in the, and he mentioned it, Super Bowl against Tennessee, one of the craziest endings you'll see.
Kevin Dyson at the 1 yard line.
You mentioned the title game against Tampa, which was epic because here's this high-octane offense, and the final score is 11-6, but they win. The Super Bowl against the Steelers, the Super Bowl against the Patriots, and then one of my favorite games, the wild card game against Aaron Rodgers in 2009.
Oh, right.
The Carlos Dansby game.
And the last game of his career, you and I watched it. If you remember, we were in L.A. the day before the game, if I'm not mistaken. And
they blew him out, and he got beat up.
We watched that game in a hotel room in L.A.
I do remember after play.
Oh, yeah.
He could have played 2-3 more years if he wanted to, but I get it. At that point...
No, that's it. Look, what was left for him to really accomplish? He thought about everything he could do at that point.
No, he'd been to 3 Super Bowls, he won a Super Bowl, he won 2 MVPs, I think. 2 MVPs or 1?
He won the MVP of the Super Bowl. You're talking about the league MVP?
Yeah, I think the league MVP.
Right.
And obviously the Super Bowl MVP. So, did it all. If you put together great resumes are coming up. This is Tiki Barber with the Radio.com Sports Minute, sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell hopes that Thursday's virtual draft will serve as a beacon of hope, not just for the 32 teams vying for a championship, whether they're close or not, but also for the millions of fans of those teams who are quarantined inside and looking for exciting things to talk about. When it's all said and done, that may actually occur, but the process to get there might be a cluster. Testing for the NFL mock draft was overrun with bandwidth issues and conference calls not on mute. And if you've ever been on a conference call where people don't mute, you know how annoying that is. The NFL has long prided itself on precision and maybe tested on draft day. My guess is that they'll get their bugs worked out, and even if they don't, at least there's hope to hold on to.
I'm not a big talker. I am a big doer. But sometimes the only way to solve the problem is to get on the horn and figure it out. So the only people I like talking to, Granger. The knowledgeable product experts, ready with the answers to my toughest questions, all advantages to one conversation I don't mind having. From machining and motor parts to valves and vacuum pumps. When it comes to solving my problem, Click Grainger.com to stop by to see for yourself. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is the story of Julie Guillaume. She's a Leukemia and Lymphoma Society advocate and the mother of a child who battled blood cancer.
Zach was diagnosed with AML, a deadly leukemia, when he was only 5. He died at just 9 years old, really from the treatment that was meant to save him.
Today, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society is pioneering breakthrough treatments for kids with cancer. Visit LLS.org and save a child's life. Furnished by LLS.
DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is adding to the thrill of the NFL Draft with a special sign-up offer of up to $1,000. Think you know what your team is going to do? Put your money where your mouth is at DraftKings Sportsbook. It's offering all users a special 20% profit boost on any 2 bets you make on the draft. There are a number of ways to take action on the draft and cash in on the profit boost. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code WFAN when you sign up. And for a limited time, all new users get a sign-up bonus of up to $1,000. That's right, DraftKings Sportsbook has a sign-up bonus of up to $1,000. Don't forget, enter code WFAN and get your sign-up bonus up to $1,000 only at DraftKings Sportsbook.
Must be 21 or older, New Jersey only. Bonus comprised of first deposit bonus and first bet match, each up to $500. Deposit bonus requires 25 times play-through. Restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hi, my name is Max. I'm a dad, and I make podcasts. But right now, things are pretty weird. Most of us are working from home, schools all over the world are closed, so we're asking kids everywhere to send us their best podcast ideas, and we're turning the submission into a brand new show. It's called The Kids Are All Home.
I like to call this Pantry Investigation. Say hi, Rosie. Hi, Rosie.
Subscribe to The Kids Are All Home on radio.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
1877 cards for kids. KARS cards for kids. 1877 cards for kids. Donate your card today.
187.
This is the 21st of April, and I told my guys, you don't have till the 27th. Figure out how to get it done by the 20th. This is where you don't get the bills to be able to have the perfect solution. You got to be able to get the mission essential done. Lives are on the line here, and we've got to be able to get everything done to be able to save those lives. This is one we're doing right now, Colorado. This is in Denver, another gigantic convention center. You'll see all the different cubibles here to be able to bring in that oxygen. This is copper pipe that comes in and it's all piped throughout the entire convention center. We are very, very focused in the core region of getting this under. This is all about the teams, the federal teams, the state teams, the local teams, the vice president's task force, a lot of people sitting out there have informed us about that. So I want to reiterate, most of these companies call me 3 times and Secretary Esper is on the phone at least one of those times and says, what else are we going to do? I think that with the federal government and the state
For your free information, call 800-520-1978. If you are Medicare, call 800-520-1978 now. Benefits and coverage not available in all counties or cases. Enrollment may be limited to certain times of the year. This message is not for Medicare.
The motto for world-class competition has always been faster, higher, stronger. It's the same for Navient, makers of condensing tankless water heaters. Faster to install and set up. Higher performance and efficiency to provide endless hot water. Stronger with the industry's strongest warranty. All because of the copper-free stainless steel heat exchanger built in every unit. Learn about Navient's condensing tankless water heaters and find a Navient contractor at tanklessmadesimple.com. That's tanklessmadesimple.com.
Ready to own your first real home? The road to renting can get a bit rough. What's the role of a realtor? An expert voice of reason helping you navigate the rigmarole of real estate. A trusted ally who knows and represents your rights. See if you follow the right guidance on your journey home. Is your agent a realtor? Look for the others. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
From the 10-10 Traffic Center, I'm Greg Rice for the SupplyHouse.com and Highway Patrol. Southbound side of the FDR Drive coming down towards the area of East 79th Street. There is an accident. That'll slow you down through the 90s. The avenues are on the west side. Do better on the westbound Long Island Expressway. Get over to Clearview or to the Crash if you're not a truck to Grand Central. That fares better. Inbound George could go to the upper and lower. Lincoln Tunnel and Holland Tunnel right now. No more than a few minutes in or out of the state. Alternate sides suspended in New York City through Tuesday, April 28th. You still have to feed the meters. I'm Greg Rice with the SupplyHouse.com and Highway Patrol.
In case you were worried, don't worry, Joe. They will have people booing Roger Goodell at the NFL draft. And I just saw a promotion that Bud Light is running, but they're having fans record their booing of Roger Goodell.
Yes.
The tradition of the NFL draft. The tradition is that a lot of people don't like you.
Right.
That's really the truth. And I think Roger has handled things well over the last few months. The draft is going on, the agency's going on, and I commend him for that. But he is not exactly been Joe a great.
He is not. Any truth to the rumor that at the draft they're going to have rules experts? Mike Pereira and Gene Steratore are going to be there as well. Just to
clarify.
Why not?
What happens if you don't get the pick and that's at the NFL. I could have been in the bracket of rules experts.
Oh, I can't stand the rules experts. Oh, my God.
By the way, I'm very excited tomorrow on the show. We will be talking to a guy who I once knew as a really quality relief pitcher. And he was a starting pitcher, but he converted to a relief pitcher, was on the Mets. But now he's known as the father of the best quarterback in the NFL.
Mahomes is joining us.
How Mahomes looks like. So baseball and father, being a father, I guess, of the best quarterback in the world. We'll join us tomorrow.
Well, have a great rest of your day. I want to thank all the callers. Great job as always. Could not do without you. I want to thank Dane Brugler, Kurt Warner. Terrific job by Tommy Lugauer, Ernie Acosta, Mike Francesca's coming up. Everybody enjoy the rest of your Monday. And of course, God bless America.
Get your full-color coverage of the NFL Draft Thursday night at 7 with Boomer and Gio, and Friday night at 7 with Tiki Barber and Brandon Tierney with our special focus on the Giants and Jets. Mike Francesa will also bring you expanded coverage beginning at 6 both nights. And Yankees fans, we also have classic Yankees baseball tonight with Game 4 of the 2009 ALCS, completed by an all-new pregame show at 6:30, hosted by Susan Waldman and John Sterling as the Bombers continue their march to the World Series. It's all from your flagship station for NFL football and Yankees baseball. The Fan, Sports Radio 1019 FM and Sports Radio 66, WFAN and WFAN FM, New York, a radio.com sports station. Listen to us on your smart speaker, mobile device, or your radio. Stay connected.
I'm Ray Jackerman at 6 o'clock. The Giants already have their quarterback of the future, but this being the week of the draft, any rumors and talk are quite possible. An NFL Network reported the Giants have spoken with Oregon's Justin Herbert virtually. GM Dave Gettleman has said repeatedly they're open to doing the fourth pick overall. Jets GM though Joe Douglas said it was his intention not to move any closer. He'll try to connect with Pro Bowl safety Jamal Adams.